Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Sevens in Vancouver. And this one, it is a big one. New Zealand versus South Africa. Two sides that are more than capable on the Sevens circuit. But the big question is, can either of them break into the top of the table by the end of this leg? At the moment, South Africa have the better chance. New Zealand haven't had their best start to a Sevens campaign. Currently, there is a match between Spain and USA going on. That is for Pool C. But of course, this one taking part in Pool B with Ireland as well as Australia as the other two sides in this group. So it just shows how important wins will be. Whoever wins this one has a lot better chance of making it through to the quarterfinal. Whoever loses this game is going to be forever playing the catch-up, but nonetheless, we'll look throughout the starting lineups. First of all, for the South Africans, it is Kua Nokia, Ryan Oosthuizen, Shilton van Wyk, Selvin Davids, David Brits, Ronald Brown, and also MP Avisa. So Selvin Davids in a starting lineup straight away give the South Africans a pretty good chance of being able to win this game. He is an outstanding player and just always seems to bring that next level of intensity. Looking at someone like a Kua Nokia, pure pace on the outside that he should be able to use to his advantage as well. And then looking through at New Zealand's starting lineup, it will be Regan Weir, Sione Molia, Tony Nyashu, Dylan Collier, Frank Vainuku, Andrew Newstub, and also Joe Webber. So quite a bit of experience across New Zealand starting seven for this matchup. We have got there in the chat, however, we've got all the way from Canetes. Also, Blitzboks all the way says bystander, and the New Zealand flags from other side of the fence. It's going to be a good game, this one, says Matthew. Yeah, both of these sides have a great chance. We know that they're world-class teams. And if either of them can get it right here, it could be one-sided. But it just seems like the more likely option is a close fixture between the two sides. I think for New Zealand, they have to be able to shut down that early surge that we normally see from the Blitzboks, because if they can't, then maybe South Africa can go up early by 12 or so, although we did see Uruguay up by 12, and then they went on to lose 38-12. So, scoring early is great, but you also have to be able to score late, which is something New Zealand have done quite a bit of throughout their sevens career. Hamish, what did you have for Bricky? I didn't get a chance, mainly because we were scheduling the other sevens live streams that are taking place later on today. We're going to be covering USA versus Fiji. Alongside that, Ireland versus South Africa. That is kicking off at around maybe 3:30 a.m. South African time. So I don't know how many South Africans we will see for that one. And then alongside that, we are also doing the Australia versus New Zealand game. Then from there, we're into Super Rugby, the URC, and the Six Nations. Going to be covering them all on the channel too. Hello, everyone, says Ruth. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well, Ruth. Hope you are excited for this head-to-head. Of course, do let me know your score predictions in the comments down below, ladies and gents. And New Zealand, come on, boys, says Ruth in there as well. I just feel like Selvin Davids, he's either going to score a try or he's going to set one up. That is the normal, expectation of Davids. In terms of the benches, some pretty handy players here. Tristan Lades, pace for the South Africans. Saviwe Soyers Wapi, Xander Reinders, also Donovan Don, and Ricardo James Dewate, the other man. In the bench options, Naroi McGarvey Black off the bench for the AB Sevens, Jaden Keelan, Brady Rush, Ollie Mathis, and Lewis Ormond there for New Zealand as well. 21-14, South Africa for the win, says Barry Green. Oh, okay, so you're going everyone getting all their kicks over as well. Would be thoroughly impressive. Currently, Spain versus USA is sitting 7-7, and if that is the way that it sits at the end of the contest, they will have to go to golden point time, which will delay the start for New Zealand versus South Africa by a couple minutes, but hopefully will not be the case. Hello, Matthew, says Ruth, and I go the Bocky, says Antoinette, and Tristan Bock looks dangerous. Yeah, Tristan Lades, he's one of those guys that can either have a blinder of a game and do extremely well, or he makes a lot of simple errors, but at the same time, like, he is still one of those guys that can have an X-factor winning moment. Same with Ricardo James Dewate. I mean, to have him off the bench is a pretty handy one. Donovan Don went all right in the last couple leagues of the Sevens too. We have got there, hey everyone, I love the new look. Excited for this tournament. Any early predictions for the gold? I think we are going to get to see either South Africa or Fiji in the final. That's my early prediction. Whether or not it's correct will be a whole different story. Anything is possible, says Barry Green. Will be up for all the sevens here in South Africa. Late night for me, says Jan Lu. So yeah, hopefully you are going to be able to get some sleep at some point. New Zealand to score first, says Ruth. There is going to be one more restart in Spain versus USA after Spain were able to score themselves the try. Just using up as much time as he can. And the Springboks, says Skulk, for who is going to be able to win it. Okay, Spain have actually given away a free kick from the halfway line. This will be an interesting finish between these two sides, and the chance of a bonus point or a golden point game might still be on the cards, like 10 p.m. like us, says Barry Green. Yeah, relatively late night for you guys in South Africa. The Sevens will be continuing for the second round of pool games throughout the South African night. But then the third round will be taking place at a relatively decent time for you. And that is going to be on Sunday morning. Looks like the USA have now got this ball. You should come here, Kiwi lads. You will love it, says Barry Green. I mean, the time zones wise, it would have to be during a time where there isn't a lot of rugby, because or else, I mean, we've talked about it already. Over the next 2.5 days, we're doing over 24 hours of commentary on the channel. So if I was doing that from South Africa or something like that, I just wouldn't get a chance to do anything other than commentate. So we'd definitely need it to be outside of a rugby window. But this match, minutes away, hopefully even less than that. We are just seeing the USA possibly score the last try of the contest. Yes, they will. Okay, if this kick misses, we're going to... Oh, no, sorry. If this kick goes over, we're going to golden point. If the kick misses, then the USA will lose. So the chance that we will have a little bit more of that USA-Spain contest. But just looking through at the starting lineups yet again for anyone who hasn't heard them. Kua Nokia in there for the South Africans. Ryan Oosterhuizen, Shilton van Wyk, Selvin Davids, David Brits, Ronald Brown, and Impivisa, the last man in the starting sides for the All Black Sevens. It will be Regan Ware, Sione Molia, Tony Nashu, Dylan Collier, Frank Vainuku, Andrew Newstubb, and Joe Weber. Now, the kick is missed for the USA. Steve Thomasine not able to convert. So that is going to end the contest, and Spain get themselves the win. It would be cool, because like your fan base is also a lot of South Africans. So here's Barry. And we have got there, do you know what home stadiums will the Springboks play at for their 2025 home test matches? I actually, to be honest, I haven't looked at it. I know that all the fixtures were announced. But with so much other rugby taking place, the Six Nations, URC, Super Rugby, everything getting underway, I haven't actually had a chance to have a decent look through yet. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, it's going to be a pretty big squad, I think, again, for Rassi. By the looks of it, he has done a training camp, or at least has organised a training camp, and it involves a large bunch of players. I think 57 in total. Spain for the win, says JD. And I'm the Light says I'm nutty. And don't forget SA Rugby in South America, or Super Rugby Americas, I think that is, maybe, but 4 versus 7 in terms of the rankings. Both sides now making their way out of the tunnel. You know, welcome into Vancouver with a snow machine as you make your way out of the tunnel. Road to 100k, let's get you there. And the venues haven't been announced yet, says Lily B. Okay, so that would be a bit of a short search, I would say, if we did end up looking where they're going to be playing. Now, first half of this contest just about to get underway. This one does have potential of going to golden point. Always pretty close when these sides go head-to-head. And it's Faf de Klerk back for the box. And will Stephen Kitsoff play again? Stephen Kitsoff is a really tough one to know, because he has to make that decision. He's had a lot of career-ending injuries, or pretty much to the extent that should be a career ender, but he keeps coming back. So eventually he'll have to make that decision. Will you stream Kenya game tomorrow? Says Guyo. Hopefully we are going to get the chance to do a couple of Kenya's games throughout this competition. I think tomorrow they don't play Argentina and they don't play France. Who's the other team in that group? And hopefully no 4 passes missed, says Clifford Hogan. This one is going to be kicked off now, and South Africa not able to retain their kick off New Zealand. Keeping it in the field of play. Now they managed to get it back, although the penalty, no, in fact, the knock-on will go the way of New Zealand. The limbs have been out for very long, says Barry. Yeah, although he came back, to be fair to him, and then unfortunately did end up with another injury just before the international stage. We have the RSC alignment camp, 56 local players plus around 30 virtual players based overseas. And who did Spain beat? Spain managed to beat the USA. France says Goyo. So yeah, we won't be doing the game between Kenya and France, sadly. And then there's one other team in their group, isn't there, that I can't quite think of. Maybe it's Great Britain, I believe. So I think Kenya, Great Britain might be the one, hopefully, that we can cover. This looks like it should be a semi-final, says Hanoi. I need to know before partner rubs it in my face, says I'm nutty. And since you're Australian, will you be watching the Rugby World Cup 2027 live at the stadium? Well, I'm not Australian, but I probably won't get to go to any of those matches. I'd say we're probably going to do the commentary from home instead, home in New Zealand. Renamed Golf to Golf of España after defeat. Now New Zealand in possession. Regan Ware, 40 metres out from the line here for the Kiwis. It's been a little bit of a chess match throughout the first 90 seconds. Neither side getting full assertion. That is a forward pass by what looked like a mile. Yeah. They've now picked it up. I think they thought maybe initially it was off a South African hand. You are a Kiwi like me, says Clifford. And it's scary how South African club have so much injuries now, like the Stormers and the Sharks, says Barry Green. Yeah, the numbers are just increasing every single week, unfortunately. South Africa have conceded the fewest tries of any team this season at an average of 10.7 per tournament, is the stat that has just come up. What do you think of China blocking the Tasman Sea? I'll be honest, never heard anything about it. As you guys know, I don't really follow news or anything like that. Like, I know a little bit about the sports stuff going on, but other than that, I don't know nothing. I don't even know what the weather's supposed to do tomorrow where I am, but Selvin Davids now going off to the left-hand side. Oh, Kua Nokia. He's going to manage to bust his way through. I think a New Zealand player maybe got caught on the breakdown and tripped. And it means South Africa, even though they have had very limited possession, will be able to score the opening try of this contest. I wonder why there's so much. It's not normal, says Barry. I think it's just the fact that they're playing week in, week out. And that was one of the... I know that it's something that some people have talked about, but it's just the fact that they've gone into the URC Champions Cup, Challenge Cup. It is really testing the depth at the moment for the South African sides because, you know, they are playing so often. And that was one of the risks that came with playing in the North. And the sides accepted that risk. I know that some of the players aren't too happy about it now, but yeah, unfortunately, when you are playing so often and your squad depth's being tested as well, like injuries are going to come. Rugby Sevens, Super Rugby and the Hyundai A-League are on tonight and today. And also the Six Nations and the URC, which we are covering both of those ones on the channel too. Now, nice attack and run from Andrew Newstub. They are 40 metres out from their own line, New Zealand, but they have conceded the first try of the contest. With Kua Nokia, now Tony Nashu breaking through, makes it to 20 metres out from the line, and the penalty goes the way of New Zealand. Sione Molia taking it quickly. Come on, New Zealand. Was that an interception try? So no, pretty much just a normal attack from the South Africans after eventually getting the turnover. Strange knee strapping on that Bok, says Hanoi. Yeah, looks like a lot of the players do have the strapping, but that is actually not to do with an injury. That is to do with the 4G turf that they're playing on. So pretty much you can get a little bit of burn on the knees and the elbows. So a lot of the guys do have the elbows and knees strapped for these games. But Tony Ngashu, pick and go around the breakdown in New Zealand now, will get their first try. You can be up for 48 straight hours. That's looking like it's going to be roughly... Well, like we might get 3 or 4 hours sleep in between, but I'm not that hopeful that it's going to be a huge amount. Timu says Rugby the second. And sadly, Sasha Fane Birkin, Gomez Zulu can't catch a break, says Barry Green. And yeah, he took a bit of a risk by coming back early, and it hasn't paid off, and he has ended up with that worse injury. In New Zealand, says Matthew, and Ruth says, I'm nutty. My dad asked me if I knew where you could get a toupee. Off the top of my head, I replied. Lovely. But 5-all between these two sides. 2 missed kicks at the moment for these teams. Now it's going to be kicked off again, sitting about maybe 22 metres out, and that's a hard shot on Ronald Brown. Now Selvin Davids, here he goes, he's so quick. Regan Weary's played up against him a lot, but he wasn't ready for that offload. Shot to Van Veek, goes on the outside to Kua Nokia. And beautiful sight, and the men in black says Ruth, and the penalty does go the way of the New Zealanders. There was a bit of a rough tap from Andrew Newstub, but kind of glided it down on his foot. Clavicle giving him a problem, says Barry. And yeah, if it's not the clavicle, it's the knee. And it's just a really unfortunate one for a young player to have so many injuries to different parts of the body at this point in his career. Oz, Ireland, New Zealand in the box in the same pool. Yeah, it's certainly, as they say, the pool of death in terms of a lot of the best sides in the one place. Shame there's no Canada men's rugby team. It is definitely with a league in Canada. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they got rid of the Hamilton League in New Zealand. There's a couple other leagues that lost their spot, yet they keep one in Vancouver where the Canadian side aren't even in it. Like, at least have them as an invitational team in this competition. Make it 16 teams for this league or something, just to give the Canadian home fans something to really cheer about, because the USA, I don't think, is quite doing it for them. But with the time, it will get better. I'm sure the injury list is Barry. Hopefully it does. Now another offload. Regan Weir, 20 metres out the pass, a bit too much on it, and it does go into touch. Playing cricket this weekend, I am not. We had too many streams, so I had to commit to one, so I did end up committing to the streaming. Hamish, any thoughts for New Zealand under-20s winning under-20 World Cup this year? Odds? No idea, to be honest. Not actually too sure who they will have in their setup. So Riri was right, the new system means Canada and Samoa aren't in it. Says, and oh yeah, like honestly, if this was a league for 16 teams, yes, it affects the overall points and whatnot, but, you know, stick Canada, Samoa, Germany, and someone else in there too. Nice inside ball from Ryan Ustays, and probably Japan, to be honest, would be another team. Now offload to Kua Nokia. Now looking to get this turnover, and South Africa, all double blow the whistle. New Zealand are going to be going to the bin for 2 minutes. And we have the AU commentating the game on the comments, a little bit of both. That is the style that we have on this channel. It's one that has worked pretty well in the past. You're looking forward to the Rugby World Cup in 2027. It is going to be a very exciting tournament, but this one now New Zealand going to be playing with only 6 men on the field here. The South Africans have got themselves a scrum feed, but both of these sides, there hasn't been a huge amount when it comes to line breaks or anything along those lines. They've just been stock standard, hitting the ball up the last couple of minutes, and we've had a couple stoppages with the scrums as well as the line-outs. Please give us more commentary on the match. It's only 7 minutes aside. Says Reginald, well, pretty much the last 35 seconds where I was talking about the comments, they were set in the scrum. Here comes Selvin Davids off the back, going to the left-hand side. Ronald Brown gets through, and they do score right at the end of the first half. South Africa gives them a nice lead heading into the second 7. It's crazy to see Crusaders get that thrashing. There's Barry Green, but Ronald Brown gets himself his 7th try, I believe it was, of the 7th series. Past the pub where they were streaming you on TV. Really? Depending on where they are, it's probably easier to just get the game than myself, I would think. But hello to the pub that was streaming it. And now Selvin Davids, ready to take this kick, wants to add the extra 2, and is unsix. Oh no, it does go over, sneaks it on the right-hand side. And that's going to make the score now 12 points to 5. Stages it close though for a half. Says Annoy. Yeah, 7-point lead at the moment, sitting in favour of the South Africans. They want to keep on extending that as we head into the second half of rugby. They are just showing the Super Rugby Pacific matches that are going to be taking place today. We are covering 2 of them on the channel. Fiji and Drua versus the Hurricanes is the first, and then the second one that we are going to be covering on the channel will be the match between the Blues and the Highlanders. Do the Highlanders have a chance tonight? They're at home, so that is something that could benefit them. And Strike Time says Rugby the second in there as well. Where's my South Africa friend? Is that maybe from Minecraft Pixels? And my prediction is out for this game. Yeah, I mean, we've already had those missed kicks, which I think did cost you drastically. But now, second half is not too far away. Some great sides to make their way, or some great players, I should say, to make their way off the bench. And my week is very hot, high temperature in Cape Town sizzling, says Ruth. But yeah, just the 3 tries that we have seen. Ronald Brown, Nokia, 2 try scorers for the Blitzboks. And then for New Zealand, we did see the breaking line for Tony Nashu. And the Crusaders in a better place this year. I'm happy with the boys. How did you read my comment, translator? No translator. I've just seen roughly enough Afrikaans to know some words, but hopefully I did get it correctly, or correct. And I feel sorry for people who have to work today. And now 7 minutes until we are going to get to see the French in action up against Great Britain. And the game following that is Argentina versus Kenya, but New Zealand will be kicking off this one from left to right. Joe Weber to get us back underway. And nicely taken by Ronald Brown inside of the South African 22. New Zealand still playing with 6 men on the field. Selvin Davids, a lot of space here for him. Goes on the outside to Nokia, but it is a rough pass and it is going to be knocked on by the South Africans. And New Zealand having to defend hard early. And come on, New Zealand, says David. And also, we have got, there goes South Africa. Don't give the game away, says Lawrence. And you did, let's go South Africa, says Minecraft Pixels. This is going to be a good time for New Zealand to just use up that little bit more time. Like they've just said, Selvin Davids in the dream team throughout last year. He is the type of guy who will just not disappear throughout a contest. Regan Ware tries to step Ronald Brown. Good driving tackle, looking both ways. Couldn't decide what way to go. Vaianuku just throws away Selvin Davids. I don't think we've seen Davids get manhandled like that by anyone. Now Dylan Collier pops the pass up to Regan Ware. They'll go away to the left-hand side now. Up the middle. Sione Molia again. This is good ball retention from New Zealand, even with the man disadvantage, which they would have until the next stoppage. Tony Nashu steps infield, gets the offload. Vainuku just jogging towards the try line. 5 metres out now. Now, Joe Weber has to play half. Sione Molia, it's been good defence from the South Africans so far. Dylan Collier looking a little bit slow to decide where he wanted to go there. So instead it's going to be Esterhazen who manages to tackle him. Now off to the left-hand side. Chance in the middle of the field. Tony Nyashu, 2-man tackle from Nokia and Selvin Davids. New Zealand struggling to find a way through. Looking a little bit stagnant here. Trying to roll away Noel stays and gives away the penalty. New Zealand should be strategic and wait here as they will go back and get someone back from the sin bin. At least to find Anuku. And also New Zealand keep the ball, says Roof. And your time still say half time. That is correct. It is an online scoreboard that updates by itself though. So I have to wait till it updates rather than me being able to do it. Do you know all that New Zealand has South Africa places? Wait, do you all know that New Zealand has South Africa places? As in, like, places with South African names or, like, South African locals? I went to Samoa and the Rugby Sevens. They are playing in the Challenger Series rather than the Sevens World Circuit. Donovan Dom will make his way onto the field for the Blitzboks. New Zealand have had 44 passes, yet they have only been able to bust their way through the South African defence once, which is just a massive credit. They are just showing Selvin Davids, though. The way he was thrown away, but then he got straight back into the action and made a couple more big tackles. Could you please explain 4G turf? I know it's artificial grass, but is there more to it? So pretty much it's to stop fields from getting torn up. So the best way of describing it is, you know, like what they play field hockey on, or, oh, that's going to be a knock-on from New Zealand. But yeah, the problem that comes with it is if you don't have any tape on your knees and whatnot, you can end up with some pretty severe kind of like friction burn. So that's why we're seeing all the players with the weird strapping on the knees, as someone called it earlier on. It is for their own protection. Referees don't like New Zealand to win. Against South Africa, says Clifford. And how many minutes left? Still another about 4 minutes remaining in this one. The scoreboard does still say halftime, but of course we are well and truly past that. 3 minutes already passing in the second period of play. What's the score now? Still 12 points to 5 in favour of the South Africans. Right. Referee just giving a stern warning about the hit. Are there bonus points in 7, says Hanoi. At one point they did have it that if you're within 7 you can get a bonus point, but I don't believe there's a way of getting a bonus point as an attacking side. And Hamish, what game is this, says Graham? This is South Africa versus New Zealand. It is a part of the group stage, the opening contest for both of the teams. Donovan Don with the chip in behind. New Zealand having to try and claim that one. And they've done nicely at the back. And Keelan has to clean it up. Almost a turnover. Yes, it is for South Africa. 3.5 minutes remaining, and now a great position on the field to be able to create an attack from. Obviously, you know what G.I. Joe is? It's like a show, isn't it? I never watched it, though, if I'm being honest. And now New Zealand. And going to try New Zealand, says Matthew there, but a good steal in the breakdown from Donovan Don. Who do you think is going to win? I think South Africa have the momentum. At the moment, they have also got that 7-point lead with only 3 minutes left on the clock. Come on, South Africa, Springboks are winners, says Lenham. Set piece has been a real key for South Africa throughout 2025, having 34% going their way. Now ball has gone in from Selvin David. Penalty to New Zealand. Knee going down. That is a penalty that you don't see too often in a game of sevens. Are they playing the normal format in this tournament? Yep, the 12 teams. So 3 group stage fixtures. Then you're on to the quarters. Top 2 sides from each group go through, as well as the best third place qualifier in 2 of the pools. Now New Stub goes across to the right-hand side. Bit of space here for New Zealand. Trying to bump over the top was Ollie Mathis. And we've got the exciting Hamish Awesome as usual in the commentary. Sears Roof, New Zealand now, McCarvey Black. Trying to get some sort of space opening up. South Africa's defence has just forced New Zealand backwards drastically, though, all throughout this contest. It's become a 3-on-1 for Andrew Newstub to fire it out wide to his teammate. Somehow stays in the field of play for Ollie Mathis. And this looks like an injury for Ryan Oosthuizen, and he's done something to his knee and is struggling to get back up to the feet. So for the time being, South Africa are only playing with 6, and there's a knock-on from Regan Ware advantage. Now for the Blitzboks, Selvin Davids goes with the chip in behind. Tristan Lades, lot of pace for him. I think he's managed to re-get it. Yes, he has. Flicks it out to Saviwe Soyuz-Wapi, and now there's the knock-on. Just jogging this one forward for Dylan Collier. Gets round Ryan Oosthuizen, who was on one leg anyway. Steps again, offloads one more. New Zealand, the chance to score. New Stub, defended by Selvin Davids, but he gets back up to his feet and scores the try. And just like that, it was hard work, but they managed to get there, New Zealand, and Ryan Oosthuizen has hurt himself badly here. He tried to get back up to make a tackle, which was a very valiant effort on one leg pretty much. Dylan Collier just jogging towards him and then just steps around to cause a little bit more damage. Come on, New Zealand, says Marion. And the latest score is 12 points to 10 at the moment, with a kick to come for the New Zealanders. But just a slow build-up there. And New Stub misses away to the side. A minute remaining here in New Zealand. They do have the bonus point, just to answer that question about whether or not there are bonus points available. And missed a kick, please, New Zealand. Well, they have. Missed it quite. Oh, what a take. That is one-handed. Saviwe Soyuz-Wapi, though, wins the turnover penalty. And that is an extremely important one for this Blitzboks team. And that is the experience. I deleted the App Store. How do I get it back? You have to probably get the App Store again, I would think, but I'm not sure how to get that back. How many minutes left? Just 30 seconds remaining now. We've seen 3 missed kicks from these sides in this contest. It's going to be the difference maker. But that is a great take, one-handed for the Kiwis. But then from there, Saviwe Soyuz-Wapi got right on it. 6 seconds remaining. This has used up about 35, 40 seconds just to set this scrum. So South Africa should have enough time to put this ball in. It's going to be isolated. Ricardo James Duarte decides he wants to run the ball. Cleaned up by New Zealand. I have no idea why he ran it rather than kicking it out, but Tristan Lays now gets rid of it, and South Africa will win this match by the 2 points, 12 points to 10. 2 tries each for South Africa. 1 says Clifford, and 2 point game says JD. And New Zealand, let's go, says Ruth, and thank God he missed it, says Barry Green. Yeah, or else we would have been going to Golden Point for the first time in this Sevens comp. But nonetheless, South Africa getting themselves the 2 point lead. They will sit top of the table now. And Australia versus Ireland taking place right behind this game. And then we will get to see exactly how the group does sit. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. The next game for the South Africans is going to be taking place in a few hours' time. We are going to be covering it on the channel. It is at 2:29 p.m. New Zealand time, so that is 3:29 a.m. for you guys in South Africa. So we might see a few of you here. Other than that, though, we've got the URC, the Bulls taking on the Lions. We've got the head-to-head that is going to be going, and that is taking place between the Super Rugby sides, Hurricanes versus Fiji and Drua, Blues versus Highlanders, and then 2 games of the Six Nations as well. So, yeah, if you guys are keen for a bit of rugby, of course, be sure to stick around. But nonetheless, I do appreciate you all being here, and we will see you all for the next one.